Live from the Sports and Recreation Center on the campus of the College of Staten Island, you're listening to exclusive men's basketball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet. Tonight in the second game of the doubleheader, the men's basketball team will have their 2016 home opener as they take on Yeshiva University and look to break their two-game losing streak to start the 2016 season. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Babuski along with Dave Pizzuto. And for those of you who might have joined us late, Dave, you missed a good game. College of Staten Island defeats St. Joe's 77-60 in a game that wasn't nearly as close as the final score indicated.
Yeah, now it's the men's turn to take center stage for the first time on their home floor. They play an upstart Yeshiva team that has played well despite their 1-2 record to open up the season. This is expected to be a tough one for the CSI men's team. CSI women had it a little bit easier, Mike. They coasted through three quarters and held on, even though they were outscored by a lot of points in the fourth. They held on for an easy 17-point win. Now it's time for the men to take center stage to show us what they have in store for us in 16-17.
Yeah, Dave, and we mentioned the Dolphins coming in. They lost two games, but they went on the road, played very well in both of them, led at the halftime in one game, led by 9 in the second half of the second game, but came away with two tough defeats.
Yeah, they actually led at halftime of both games, Mike. They were fortunate to have a 2-point lead in that first game and ended up losing by 18 to the host Salisbury University. But no matter who the Dolphins were going to play on that second day, whether it's Cabrini University or Johns Hopkins University, they, a lot of people thought that those were the two best teams in that tournament. And the Dolphins held their own against Cabrini, and what they showed, Mike, was their ability to score. They scored 80 points in that game. They shot the ball well. They were good in transition. They protected the basketball, more along the lines of what head coach Tony Petoza wants to see. Now, can they come full circle and play a better game defensively and get a win? That's the most important test. And they have a team coming in Yeshiva that is a hard out, a tough out, not a team that's going to go quietly, and another strong test.
Dolphin team, Dave, a very different Dolphin team from the 2015-2016 team. Obviously, no Will Fonseca on the team, so lots of changes for the CSI Dolphins. Really, Dave, since going back to those great CSI Dolphin teams back in the day, with Will Fonseca leaving the program last year, really that entire roster has now turned itself completely over.
Yeah, I mean, really, with the exception of Frank Schettino, you don't really have any bona fide, threats on this team. We all know that Khalik Baum, as a second-year senior, is going to be one of those guys that's going to have to step up. Kevon Murphy now in his third year as a starter. Robert Rossiter is a transfer from Ursinus College who played really well in the first couple of games in that tournament. But really, there's still a lot of gel that needs to come aboard on this team. Edin Bracic, of course, is another one of those players who now in his junior year is expected to really blossom into a go-to player for this team. And listen, Mike, as far as gameplay is concerned, this team is different. The Dolphins want to win, as always, with their defense, but head coach Tony Petoza said, look, our number one weapon coming into this season is our team speed. We like to play a slower game. We're going to play fast this year. We're going to look to score in transition. A lot of fast break points, a lot of easy layups. That's what we're looking for. If we can't do those things, we are not going to be successful as a team. And it's very rare to hear a coach like Tony Petoza say that. He's more of a half-court guy, a guy who focuses on defense. And that's not to say they won't do that this year, but they're going to have to play a different style of what people are used to with the CSI Dolphins team.
And, Dave, a lot of freshman players on the roster, and tonight will actually be the debut of Christian Taylor, the freshman player that the Dolphin coaches are very high on.
Yeah, he's one of their biggest weapons. The Dolphins really hope that by the end of this season, he could be one of those players that has truly stepped up and has made the difference in the season. Mike, another one of those players is number 42, James Delahanty. If the name sounds familiar, that's because, his brother Tom was here for 3 out of his 4 collegiate years, and now we have another Delahanty in the lineup, so we could be saying his name a lot, but they're expecting good things from him. He's a developmental type player. He's not as strong and not as elusive as his brother maybe at this point in his career, but the Dolphins are hoping for some big things. And really, Mike, that's another part of this team that's going to look very different. Tony Petoza, we've seen in the past sometimes, Mike, him only use 7 or 8 players at most in a game. Don't be surprised to see 10, 11, 12 players getting minutes. Of course, it depends how games are going, but if he has his way, he's going to be able to shuffle a lot of players in and out, and it's all in the hopes that some of these younger players, by the end of the season, are his torchbearers, at the end.
And, Dave, through 2 games, Frankie Schettino averaging 24.5 points a game, but Eden Brocic at 14 a game and Khalid Baum at 12 a game. Those are 2 players that you mentioned, Dave, returning players that the Dolphins are really counting a lot on.
Yeah, and if you notice Brocic's numbers, he only took 18 shots over the weekend, and a majority of those were in game 2. So he started to find his shooting touch. He's shooting 50% even. Frank Schettino shooting 44% from the field. Khalid Baum is shooting 46%. But then, Mike, it falls off from there. I mean, obviously, Stephen Flagg has shot the ball well in an unlimited number of shots, but really, the Dolphins need some better shooting overall. They're only shooting 42% as a team so far. Mike, last year, the Dolphins were 17-3 when they shot over 45% of the game. That's 20 games out of 28 games where they shot the ball 45% or better. That's a really big number. They've yet to do it so far this season. So that's something that they really need to do a better job at is getting high percentage shots. It's not just about shooting the ball better. It's about putting yourself in a position to make baskets easier, and that's what this team is looking for. But you're right, Mike. Khalid Baum, one of those players that is going to be looked at. Eden Brocic, the same thing. He's really their biggest downtown threat. He's 6 of 14 from behind the arc. Frank Schettino is the only one with more than 1 three-pointer, but he's 2 of 11 from downtown. Still looking to find his shooting touch.
And, Dave, as we look at this CSI men's basketball team, it's a team that's had so much success over the years, but, it's hard to believe it's been a couple of years since they've made it all the way into the finals.
Yeah, you know what? They're pretty far removed from it, Mike, and, I don't know how confident they are that they can get back there this year. One of the things that Tony Petoza told me coming into the season is that he doesn't really know how to judge this team until at the end of not this year, but next year. That's when he hopes this team, obviously Frank Schettino and Khalid Baum won't be a part of it at the end of next year, but he won't truly be able to test how well this team has done until the end of next year. That's how much upside there is for this team. Now, according to what the rest of the CUNY Conference has to offer, maybe this team can go far. But if what people say is true and every CUNY school has gotten better since last year, a championship might be a little bit of a lofty expectation for this team. But you know what, Mike? When you have so many new players, that means you have so many intangibles, so many things that not only can lead to growing pains, but can also break right for you and tip the scales in your favor. And that's obviously where we're all hoping this season leads us.
And, Dave, as we're about 4.5 minutes or so away from the start of the game here this afternoon, let's take a quick look at this Yeshiva University team, Dave. You mentioned that they come in with a record of 1-2 on the year, but, they've played well and they play in a tough Skyline Conference, and although none of their opponents have been Skyline opponents as of yet, they played a pretty tough schedule to start the year, and they're coming in with a record of 1-2.
Yeah, through 1-2, through the first three games of the season, Mike, they're averaging 85 points a game. Now, they give up a bunch, and they give up, they give up a lot of shots, and they have turned the ball over a little bit, but the bottom line is they put up a lot of points, and the reason why they put up a lot of points is because they put up a lot of shots. They get a lot of shots off. They don't work the shot clock, to the wee seconds. They like to work in transition. They're a team that if they're doing what they expect to do, they're going to play the kind of similar style for the Dolphins. That's why this game is such a big test for the Dolphins, because they're playing a team that likes to play the same type of game. So we'll see how the Dolphins are able to stack up. But, Yeshiva's got some big players in their lineup. Michael Berg is averaging 14 points per game. Obviously, he's in the starting lineup. You got Dean Panika, 11 points per game. And, of course, you got Joda Cohen, who's averaging 16 points per game, along with 4 rebounds. So, they got some players who could score, who like to shoot, who've taken a bunch of shots. And, Mike, the one thing about this team that you got to be careful of, they shoot well from downtown. They are shooting just under 40%, but, Mike, 36 three-pointers through 3 games. You do the math, it's 12 per game. They're getting a lot of points via the three-point arc.
Yeah, and YU coming in, as we mentioned, with a 1-2 record. Their one win of the year was in their opening game of the season as they defeated CCNY at the Nat Holman Gymnasium 92-66. So with just a couple of minutes before the game, why don't we step aside, take a break, and then we'll be back with the starting lineups and the start of this afternoon's game between the College of Staten Island and Yeshiva University as you're watching men's basketball coverage exclusively on your voice of CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the ring cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave.
Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
We're back, and we're just moments away from the start of the second game of our doubleheader between the College of Staten Island and Yeshiva University. And as the players are getting introduced on the floor, let's bring you the starting players for tonight's game. And here to bring you those starters, my broadcast partner, Dave Pizzuto. Dave?
All right, thank you, Mike. We'll start off with Yeshiva. They are 1-2 on the season. They will go in numerical order with 6'3" senior forward Michael Berg. Number 2 is Dean Painika. He's a 6'5" senior forward. Number 12 is Jordan Hod. He is a 5'10" senior guard. Number 21 is Tal Guetta. He's a 6'4" sophomore forward. And at number 22, their leading scorer, Judah Cohen. He is a 5'11" sophomore guard. And he makes up the backcourt with Jordan Hod. For Staten Island, they will go in the front court with Kalik Baum, Eden Bracic, the junior, Kavan Murphy, the fellow junior, and then the 2 guards in the backcourt, the senior, of course, number 4, Frank Schettino, the Dolphins' leading scorer, and the transfer from Ursinus, number 31, Robert Rossiter, who's been in the starting lineup for the first 2 games this season as well. So nothing unexpected, Mike, nothing out of the ordinary. And for the Dolphins, they're looking to enter the win column for the very first time.
Yeah, and Dave, we mentioned earlier in the pregame show, the Dolphins went down to Maryland and played 2 very strong teams and played 2 very good games, but, kind of ran out of gas at the end of both of those games here tonight. And, having an opportunity to speak to the coaching staff a little bit before the game, they really feel that getting a couple of these players back in the lineup is really going to give them maybe that little bit of added depth that they might need to get through the final few minutes of the game.
Yeah, what the Dolphins like about, this past weekend was they were able to get a lot of players into games, but they couldn't get their players extended minutes because they were trailing, for stretches, especially late in the second half. So when you'd like to see, like similar to what we saw in Game 1, a lot of your freshmen getting minutes, the Dolphins really didn't have that luxury. And, Mike, you look at the statistics, the Dolphins averaged 72.5 points this past weekend, but really, Mike, Kalik Baum, Eden Brocic, and Frank Schettino, between them, they're 50 of those 72 points. So the Dolphins need to find some scoring from elsewhere other than those top three. Now, those three are going to have to carry the load. You'd expect it. Obviously, Robert Rossiter, the first year sophomore, averaged 7 points per game. But beyond that, the Dolphins are looking for some heroes. They're looking for some people to step up. Who's going to be that fourth guy? Who's going to be that fifth guy? Who's going to be the difference, the X factor in a lot of these games? Maybe tonight we get our first look at who that person will be.
Yeah, and the College of Staten Island, which made it last year into the semifinal rounds of the CUNYAC tournament, looking to advance further in this 2016-2017 season. It's their home opener here tonight against Yeshiva University. And Dave, for the Dolphins to pick up their first win of the year, what are the keys to the game?
I think they have to get up early, Mike. I think in both games they were able to take a lead at halftime, but they struggled in the early moments. In the first half against Salisbury, they struggled offensively. In the first half against Cabrini, they struggled defensively. It's time for the Dolphins to complete it, to play well offensively and defensively. And, Mike, I think the other key is they got to stay out of foul trouble, especially in the front court, especially with a high-tempo game where they're looking for stops. They got to stay out of the foul trouble and get their major players in the game at all times.
So we're about ready to get underway as Dean Pacino will jump against Kevon Murphy, as the opening tip is tipped, and we're underway as Cone hands off to Hod, and the Maccabees will have the first possession. Cone looking to feed the ball inside, and the reverse layup that time by Pacino is no good, and the Dolphins control the rebound.
Nice job by Kalik Baum to scoop up the rebound.
Schettino kicking the ball out. The open three-pointer that time by Brocic is no good, and here come the Maccabees as Hod has the basketball, and Dave, both teams looking to run and shoot right off the bat.
Yeah, that's how these two teams want to play. High pressure, high intensity, a lot of running up and down the floor.
Guetta with the basketball, working against Rossiter, feeds the ball inside, and Berg's shot is knocked away. And here comes Schettino with the ball for the Dolphins. Played just under a minute here, no score. Schettino over to Rossiter. Rossiter looking to get the ball inside. He stops. His short baseline jumper is up, no good. But Baum able to tip the ball back, and the Dolphins will get a second possession.
Dolphins with a long jumper and a short jumper to start the game.
As Schettino will draw the first foul of the game, that'll be against Judah Cone. That will be his first foul. So the Dolphins will inbound the ball. Both teams putting up a couple of shots early, Dave. Both teams looking for their first points.
Yeah, that time it looked like Schettino wanted to take matters into his own hands and get something underneath, maybe draw some contact, and that's exactly what he did.
Rossiter thought about it, now feeds the ball inside to Murphy. Murphy back to Rossiter. His short running baseline is no good, but Murphy there to lay it up and in. Good play that time by Kevon.
Yeah, I don't know if that was an intended pass, but it sure turned out to be a good one for Kevon Murphy underneath, and Dolphins have drawn first blood.
Guetta with the basketball, looking to work against Rossiter. Bounce pass goes inside, and losing possession will be Berg. So off the YU turnover, it'll be Dolphin basketball.
Yeah, so Dolphins playing well defensively, really matching up, not being out of position. They haven't given up a lot of, cheap stuff. Every pass has been contested, so good start defensively for the Dolphins.
Dave, and you Dolphins watch a player like Kevon Murphy, and you see so much talent as he gets called for the turnover there. And, you see stretches from Kevon where he really looks all world, and then you see some other times where he's not as much into the game as the coaching staff would like.
Yeah, he hasn't had a lot of extended minutes in his first couple of seasons. I mean, he's gotten some spot time and has stepped up, but this is really going to be the truest test for him because he's going to get large minutes in chunks, and how he responds will determine how much he plays down the stretch.
As Cone puts up the three-pointer, that's no good, and Baum grabs the rebound for the Dolphins. Schettino Schettino looking to use the screen. He works his way inside. A nice feed across to Murphy. His layup is up, no good. But Baum is able to control the rebound. Schettino with the basketball now for the Dolphins as they have 20 seconds to shoot on the shot clock. We played 2.5 minutes, just one basket scored in the game as Schettino's short jumper is up and in.
Yeah, Frank Schettino averaging 24.5 points. Remember, he got off to that huge start last year before he got injured, where he was putting up these, huge numbers, and scores his first basket here of this one.
So YU now working with the basketball as they look to get the ball inside. Now it's Berg. Berg cross-court pass out over to Cone as they get the ball out over to Guetta out behind the three-point line. But YU nearly turns the ball over, and now Rossiter able to pick it up for the Dolphins.
Yeah, nice control play by Bracic to get it over to Rossiter on the ground.
Schettino, crossover dribble, stop, jumper from the free throw line, extended is good.
Yeah, he's feeling it, and he had an open lane there, not much of a window to shoot, but Schettino got it over the defense and dropped it in, made it look easy.
So now YU trailing by 6 here as they get the ball out over in the corner. The long three-pointer is going to be an air ball, and Schettino controls the rebound. Schettino looking to work his way past a couple of defenders. His layup is up, no good, but he'll draw the foul.
Yeah, and the big question surrounding Frank Schettino is, can he keep this motor for 40 minutes, Mike? I mean, he goes so hard, so fast all the time. We know he can do it. He's got the potential, one of the most dynamic players in the conference, and here he is at the line looking for points 5 and 6, and he's gotten to the line very often, Mike.
Yeah, Schettino, a 63% free throw shooter on the year, hits the first, and the Dolphins go on a 7-0 run to start the game here, and they lead by a score of 7-0. As Schettino will have one more free throw upcoming.
Yeah, the Dolphins have taken 45 free throws, and Schettino's taken 25 of them.
Schettino's second free throw is up and no good, so he splits the pair, and Cone controls the rebound.
Fantastic start so far for the Dolphins. We'll see if they can keep it up, especially defensively. Yeshiva still looking for its first points.
Cone gets the ball up over to Aloof, back to Cone. Cone looking to work against Schettino. And now he'll hand the ball off to Berg at the free throw line, extended back to Cone, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on the play, and I guess that's going to be an offensive foul before the shot. So off the YU turnover, the Maccabees will pick up their third foul, and the Dolphins will have possession of the basketball.
Yeah, I believe that one was called. I had number 1, but that can't be right.
So Schettino with the basketball, and the Dolphins with a 7-0 lead as Schettino nearly had the ball stolen. Now it is. Cone looking to work against Rossiter. Nice defensive play that time by Robert to work his way all the way back, make the clean block, and will force YU to inbound the basketball.
Yeah, I don't even think Cohen realized that he had Rossiter breathing down his neck. He kind of lazily put it up there, and Rossiter got the nice clean block. Beautiful play by Robert.
Pacina with the ball. He feeds it inside. He was looking for Aloof, but the ball's going to be knocked out of bounds, but will remain Maccabee basketball.
That's been the story of the first 4.5 minutes or so, Mike, is the Dolphins are not really letting Yeshiva pass on the inside with any ease whatsoever. Everything's being contested down low.
As Berg's floater goes up and in, so...
And even that I thought might have gotten partially blocked, Mike.
Yeah, they're only 1 for 6 from the field with 3 turnovers, so off to a very slow start, but only trailing by 5 is YU, as Schettino now brings the ball up across the midcourt line for the Dolphins. Bracic feeds it inside to Baum. Baum gets the ball back up over to Schettino. And, Dave, Baum is another player for the Dolphins as Schettino will draw another foul, this one on Pacina. But Baum is another one of those players who in stretches looks almost unstoppable and then at some other times not as effective offensively.
Yeah, and you know what? He hasn't touched the ball a lot on the offensive side. Defensively, he's been working his tail off and has looked very good as we see our first look from Christian Taylor, Mike. His first action of the season and now his first touch.
So Taylor with the basketball now gets the ball out over to Bracic. Now Schettino feeding the ball inside to Murphy. A beautiful spin move, and the layup is up and in.
Yeah, and that's the thing that Kevon Murphy can do. He's got some pretty feet. He's got some good moves when he's in motion. He's got to take the ball with him at times. He gets called for travels, but he really has some nice post moves.
As Guetta with the basketball, and his layup is up and in. A nice move that time by Tal. and that makes it a 9-4 game.
Yeah, and that time Tal was working against Christian Taylor, who's seeing his first action of the season. Tal, recognizing the fact that Christian just came in the game, tested him early.
So now it's Taylor with the basketball. He stops. His first shot as a Dolphin is up, no good. And Pacina controls the rebound.
Yeah, very anxious. That time Taylor had open looks to his right and left, opted for the shot and missed it.
Guetta with the basketball, now feeding the ball up over to Berg. Berg working the ball inside to Aloof. The short shot is up, no good. Murphy controls the rebound, and here comes Schettino. Schettino driving down the lane, a nice feed inside to Baum, who lays it up and in.
That's precisely what the Dolphins want to do. They want to get stops, and they want to work the transition game, the fast break up the floor. Schettino looked like he was in no man's land, was able to find the open Baum, and he puts it in. Nice job by the Dolphins.
11-4, Dolphins lead by 7. Aloof with the basketball now for the Maccabees. His feed inside is knocked away and stolen by Schettino.
What a move.
Here comes the Dolphins, 3-on-1. Schettino feeds it into Murphy, but he misses the layup.
Oh, that's a tough miss for Murphy, who now gets jumped up and will get the ball back for the Dolphins. So nice job by Murphy to stay with the play and draw the jump ball and get possession back. But what a nice move by Frank Schettino. He had a couple of them and then got the ball to Murphy in open space. And a blown layup, but a second chance here as Murphy has a seat on the bench along with Bracic. And they give way to more substitutions here for the Dolphins.
Yeah, and the Dolphins with an 11-4 lead. They're 5 of 11 from the field compared to 2 of 8 for the Maccabees as Schettino inbounds the basketball. And it'll be Taylor as Schettino fighting inside for position against Guetta. And for the third time, Dave, in about 6.5 minutes, Schettino is drawn a YU foul.
Yeah, and we said how the Dolphins wanted to stay out of foul trouble. They haven't picked up a foul. Clock has not started. Now it does. It was very late. It was very late to start, and now gets over to 13:35. Vondris Lennon has checked in for the Dolphins, Mike. 6'6" freshman from Yonkers.
So our first look at Vondris in a Dolphin uniform here tonight, as it'll be Schettino with the basketball. Schettino feeding the ball inside. He looked to get it inside to Murphy. His shot is going to be up and blocked away. Actually,
Nice.
I believe that was Lennon, and the Dolphins will maintain possession with 10 on the shot clock.
Tell you what, Schettino only has 1 assist, but he should have about 4 at this point. That was another perfect pass on a line to Lennon, who was completely not expecting it and ended up getting blocked twice.
Yeah, he's going to learn that with Schettino, you got to keep your eyes open at all times. As now the Dolphins look to feed it inside, and it's going to go off of Baum's hands and out of bounds. A nice idea that time by Taylor, but Baum couldn't handle. So now the Dolphins turn the ball over.
And speaking of assists, Schettino needs 7 more to tie the school's all-time assist record. So that's a stat that we will continue to monitor as well tonight.
So now it's going to be Berg bringing the ball up across the midcourt line for the Maccabees, feeding it over to Halen. His shot is going to be blocked away beautifully, and now it'll be Schettino with the ball for CSI. Schettino, crossover dribble, works his way up inside. A lot of contact, nothing called, and the Maccabees control the rebound.
I actually thought Schettino got away with an offensive. It looked like he swung that elbow as he came in.
Guetta with the basketball. Guetta working the ball up in the corner now to Katz. Katz feeding it up over to Guetta, and we're going to have a whistle and the foul on the Dolphins. And I believe that's going to be on Taylor. That will be his first. And YU will have an opportunity to inbound the basketball. 12 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. 11-4, Dolphins lead.
Yeah, so Dolphins' first foul of the game belongs to Taylor.
Cone gets the ball up over to Hod. Hod's long three-pointer is good.
Yeah, this team will take a lot of three-point shots. In 3 games, they've taken 91 coming into this game. So they attempt 30 three-point shots per game. And if you leave them open, you make it way too easy.
So the Dolphins lead closed down to 4 now as it's Rossiter getting the ball up over to Schettino. Schettino feeding the ball inside to Baum. Baum turns it. His baseline jumper is good.
Yeah, that's a shot that Kalik really likes to take. You know, that turnaround jumper when everybody else is expecting him to pass. Stephen Flagg's getting ready to check in for the Dolphins as well. Bracic is getting set to come back in as well.
So it's going to be Berg trying to fight his way inside. A nice defensive play by Rossiter. A fight for possession, and going out of bounds with the basketball will be Katz, so it will be YU basketball.
Yeah, so that's a nice play. for Katz. Unfortunately, landed out of bounds trying to save that one. And another good block by Robert Rossiter, who's been all over the defensive interior.
And we
Once
have a
again,
whistle.
the clock did not start.
You know, Dave, as we look out onto the floor, you know, we've played just over 8 minutes. Both teams with a lot of substitutions here through 8 minutes.
Yeah, and you know, when's the last time you've seen the Dolphins funneling in so many players? Now Stephen Flagg comes in the game, and you know, it's just a different look than what we're used to.
Yeah, the Dolphins already with 8 players on the floor. YU with 9 players on the floor, Dave. So lots of players going on.
Yeah, and you know, one of the benefits of keeping such a big bench is you want to be able to funnel players in and out, keep your guys fresh. Clock has been reset now to 11:48. And clock starts now as Christian Taylor has the handle.
So Taylor now with the basketball. Bounce pass goes inside. You have a whistle and a traveling violation. So, Dave, the Dolphins got off to a pretty hot start offensively. They jumped out to a 7-0 lead, but have cooled down a little bit over the last couple of minutes.
And this is a very important 3 or 4 minute stretch, because if you notice who's not in the game, it's Frank Schettino. He's the quarterback of this team, and you know, you have Stephen Flagg now who came in for him. Now Jade Spencer comes in, another fresh player off the bench for the Dolphins. Kevon Murphy has checked back in.
So our first opportunity to see a lot of players here in the 2016 season as Hod brings the ball up across the midcourt line, feeds it out to Guetta. Guetta trying to work his way inside. His floater is up, no good. And going up high for the rebound will be Bracic. Bracic feeding it up over to Taylor. Now it's getting worked back up over to Bracic. A nice feed inside, and laying the ball up and in is Spencer. Nice play that time by the Dolphins, and they open up an 8-point lead.
True freshman, 6'4", forward from Brooklyn, New York, Samuel Tilden High School. Jade Spencer's a name we're going to be saying a lot over these next 4 years.
Guetta with the basketball, now working the ball in the corner, gets it out over to Hod. Hod back up over to Cone. Cone works his way down the lane. His layup is up, no good. And the rebound controlled there by Taylor. Taylor bringing the ball up the floor himself, feeding the ball inside. A short running one-hander in the lane is up, no good. A fight for the rebound, and YU comes away with the basketball. Hod with the basketball, takes it to the basket and lays it up and in.
Yeah, what a deceptive move by Hod. Nice play down the other end of the floor with Bracic all over him. Nice job to cut the lead down to 6 here for Yeshiva.
So Taylor now with the basketball. Taylor looking to work against Hod. Taylor working his way down the lane, and a beautiful layup is up and in.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if you could spell Frank Schettino with moves like that, you're going to be in good shape throughout the season.
Yeah, and, you know, again, the Dolphins' first opportunity to look at Taylor here this afternoon as the long three-pointer by Cone is up and in.
Yep, Cone's the leading three-point shooter on this team, and when he heats up, it's usually bad news for the opponents. Yeshiva answers right back.
17-12. The Maccabees close the lead down to 5. As the Dolphins have the basketball, it's Bracic. Bracic up over to Murphy. A lot of contact on the play, but Murphy able to stay focused and hit the basket.
Yeah, so Kevon Murphy with the short-range jumper hitting it.
6 points for Murphy now. The Dolphins lead 19-12. Guetta with the basketball. Guetta working the ball up over to Katz. Now the Maccabees try to feed the ball inside. They were looking for Hod, but Taylor comes away with the basketball. Taylor looking to drive his way inside. The layup is up, no good. That should be a block, and I believe it will be.
Yeah, that's a good call, actually, with the Maccabi defender backing up into Christian Taylor. So Taylor will get his first look at the free throw line here.
So that foul will be called on Judah Cone, his first, team 6th. Taylor will go to the free throw line.
Taylor with a couple points, couple of rebounds here. His first trip to the free throw line in a CSI uniform.
And his first free throw is up and in, Dave, and you got to like the way he's come on the floor. He's shown a nice presence on the floor. He's been effective. He's getting himself on the scoreboard in all different areas in just a couple of minutes. So lots of positives from Christian Taylor here in his first few minutes.
Yeah, I think defensively he's played well on the inside. He got, he got taken to the hole the first trip down the floor defensively, but since then he's intercepted a couple passes. He's disrupted a couple of open layups. So nice job so far for the young freshman out of Susan E. Wagner High School as he splits the pair of free throws.
So 1 of 2, and the Dolphins lead back up to 8 now with 9 minutes and 15 seconds remaining here in the first half. Hod with the basketball. Hod looking to feed the ball inside. There, holding on to the ball is Halen. His shot is up no good, but he was able to draw the foul.
Halen will go to the line now for Yeshiva. First time he's been on the line, looking to give Yeshiva their first bench points here in the first half of the first half. We're 11 minutes in.
Yeah, and that's going to be a foul on Stephen Flagg. So Stephen picks up his first foul. And, you know, Dave, Stephen, a player that the Dolphins are looking for marked improvement out of here in 2016.
Yeah, you know, Petosa factors Stephen Flagg as one of those X-factor type players, a guy who has so much upside but really has yet to show it so far. He'll get some opportunities. This is one of them.
So Halen misses the first free throw. He'll have one more upcoming.
Short.
And his second is up, no good. And the rebound controlled by Spencer. And, you know, Dave, you got to like the way that the young kids have played here in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, so far so good. Dolphins holding their own. And, of course, Frank Schettino back in the game after that first missed free throw.
So Schettino in the game for the Dolphins as he looks to work against Cone. He kicks the ball across, now over to Flagg. Flagg trying to work his way inside, and his reverse layup is up and in. Nice move that time by Flagg.
Yeah, you know, I thought maybe he might have taken a step as soon as he received the pass, but bottom line is he stayed with the play and made it. Schettino now with his second assist.
Dolphins with their biggest lead of the game. It's 10, 22-12 as the ball goes to Hod in the corner. His three-pointer halfway down and out, and Bracic controls the rebound. Now it's Schettino. Schettino trying to work his way in the lane, and that time the ball stolen away. Not good communication as Cone drives down the lane, and his layup is up and in, and he draws the foul. And
I don't see where the foul was.
I didn't see any contact at all on that play, Dave.
It certainly wasn't on the shooter, Mike. It was definitely not a foul on the shooter. I mean, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, and head coach Tony Petosa wondering what's going on the play. I thought, if anything, there might have been a moving block on YU. Instead, Cone gets the basket and now an opportunity to take the free throw here.
No, actually, they're going to get possession, Mike, because the foul was away from the ball on the Dolphins. So they'll get, you know, this actually counts worse.
Yeah, that's a tough call, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll leave it at that for now. As Aloof with the basketball. Aloof getting the ball out over to Berg. Berg now handing the ball off to Aloof. Now the ball goes in the corner to Hod. Hod trying to free himself up. It's Berg's shot is up, no good. And now we're going to have a whistle and a loose ball foul. And I believe that'll be on Michael Berg.
Yeah, Jade Spencer had a beautiful block there on Berg, and Berg attempting to try and get the ball back might have caught him in the face. And Spencer might get spelled here. No, he will not. It'll be Flagg coming out in place of Rossiter, who checks back in.
Yeah, good couple of minutes there, though, for Stephen Dave. He was able to get on the board and play effectively. And it's going to be now Spencer to go to the free throw line for the Dolphins to shoot 2. Actually, it was a 1-and-1, and that's no good. And the rebound controlled by YU as they look to work their way back into this game now, trailing by 8. Hod with the basketball. Hod kicking the ball out up over to Aloof. Aloof picking up the dribble, now working the ball in the corner. Pulling up and taking the long outside jumper. That time is Melman. It's no good. The ball tipped around, and Rossiter comes away with it for the Dolphins. Now it's Schettino. Schettino working against 3 Maccabees. Kicks it in the corner to Bracic, whose three-pointer is good.
Yeah, you know, Eden wanted that one. He hadn't shot since the early stages of the first half, and then he was able to bury that one. That gives him a lot of confidence.
Dolphins with their biggest lead of the game. Now it's 11, 25-14. As Cone takes the three-pointer, that's blocked. Schettino tried to kick it ahead. It gets tipped. Comes down to Rossiter, who loses possession, and now it'll be Cone with the basketball.
Yeah, both teams doing such a good job of really flooding themselves to the basketball, getting in good position. Nice block by the Dolphins, just could not complete the play.
Melman gets it to Hod, now out over to Berg. Back to Cone. Cone puts up the three-pointer and buries it. So Cone has now hit 2 3-pointers in a row to keep YU in the game.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, yeah, that guy has, you know, tremendous aim there from downtown. And Cone, you leave him just a second open. He's not afraid to shoot it.
Shatino with the basketball out by the three-point line. Go inside a Cole, kicks it back up over to Bracic. His three-pointer is good.
Yeah, you know what? When you have a hot three-point shooter, it could really take the wind out of the sails of your opponents. And now the Dolphins back up by 11, answering a three with a three.
Hod with the basketball now for YU, looking to work against Shatino. A nice feed inside the cone. Nice move back up over to Berg, and I thought there might have been a travel before the shot, and there will be.
Well, you know, he made a great move, did Michael Berg. Unfortunately, he didn't go up when he should have. I think he was expecting a little bit more contact. So Yeshiva cannot complete the play. And the Dolphins here with a golden opportunity to go up big here in the first half.
So it'll be Shatino to walk the ball up as the Dolphins lead 28-17, 6:03 remaining here in the first half. Shatino with the basketball looking to work against Cone. 15 on the shot clock. Bounce pass goes into Baum on the baseline. Baum picks up his dribble. A beautiful feed inside at that time as Murphy misses the shot and can't put the rebound back, and YU with the basketball. Good opportunity there for the Dolphins.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kavan was stripped going up for that layup. Otherwise, he would have had a nice, easy layup.
Sokol feeding the ball out over to Cone. Now it's Aloof, but he gets called for the travel.
Yeah, so now both teams swapping some turnovers.
Both teams now, YU with 8 turnovers, Dolphins with 7. So both teams a little bit guilty of the turnover here, Dave, in the first half.
Yeah, and if you're the Dolphins, you don't mind it as long as you can cash in on their mistakes, especially with an 11-point lead.
Shatino gets the ball back into Flagg, who's come right back into the game. Now a bounce pass up over to Shatino. He kicks it open to an open Rossiter, whose three-pointer is good.
And that's assist number 5 for Shatino as he's now 3 away from the school's all-time record.
And the Dolphins now take a 14-point lead, and it'll be a 30-second timeout, Dave. So why don't we keep it right here? And, you know, the Dolphins jumped out early in this game, Dave. They went out to a 7-0 lead. YU was able to get it down as low as 5, but now the Dolphins have opened up their biggest lead of the game as they lead by a score of 31-17.
Yeah, you know, and it's been a quiet, you know, sort of methodical lead that's been improving and improving. The Dolphins just staying with their game. They're finding open looks. They're staying dedicated to playing on the interior. And Mike Yeshiva has had to respect that play. And because they've had to leave players like Eden Bracic and Robert Rossiter open on the outside, and the Dolphins are making it hurt.
Yeah, you know, they really are, and they've played very well, Dave. And, you know, we were really looking forward for our first opportunity to see the Dolphins live and in person. And, you know, one of the things that jumps out at you, and you've mentioned it a couple of times, is what a difference seeing so many Dolphins get out onto the floor early in a close game.
Yeah, we're just not used to it. We're just not used to it at all. And now, you know, we're in kind of uncharted waters, and we're enjoying it.
So for the Dolphins, it's Shatino on the floor, along with Rossiter, Baum, Murphy as the long jumper, and Flagg is controlled by Baum, and they feed it to Shatino. Shatino goes coast to coast, misses the layup, but Khalid Baum is there to jam it home.
And that's what happens when you have a team that's flooding itself to the basket. It would have been very easy for players like Kavan Murphy and Khalid Baum to just watch Shatino, but they followed the play, and Khalid Baum made a tremendous effort.
As Aloof able to take the ball to the basket and lay it in, that breaks up the Dolphin run and cuts the lead back down to 14.
Still, if you're Yeshiva, you need some big stops here because the Dolphins are flying high offensively. Can't seem to do anything wrong here at this point.
33-19 to score as Shatino gets the ball to the three-point line with 16 on the shot clock. Shatino works the ball inside, feeds it inside, and the layup is up and in. Nice play once again, and Kavan Murphy having a good first half here for the Dolphins, Dave, already with 8 points, and he will go to the free throw line looking to complete the three-point play.
Yeah, and that time, Kavan Murphy with the soft hands, expecting the pass from Shatino, who's blazing in on the inside. Nice dish, nice finish, and now a chance to complete the three-point play.
So Murphy going to the line, looking to complete the three-point play, and he misses the free throw. Dolphins now 2 of 6 from the line here in the first half. Cone with the basketball. Sokol out by the three-point line, picks up his dribble, Bounce pass goes inside, but he throws it away. Good pressure defense that time by the Dolphins. Forces Sokol into the turnover.
Yeah, you could tell the Dolphins making it very tough for Yeshiva to pound the ball inside. You know, the Dolphins are not content with just giving up the 3, but at the same time, they're making it very difficult for Yeshiva to get the ball on the interior.
So Chatino now will walk the ball up the floor. The Dolphins with their biggest lead of the game. It's 16. Chatino out by the 3-point line, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul. I think it might have been away from the ball, Dave. I'm not sure. As the foul is going to be called on Bar Aloof. That's going to be his first, the team's 9th. So Chatino will go to the free throw line to shoot a 1-and-1. Dolphins missed the front end of a 1-and-1 on their only 1-and-1 opportunity here tonight.
Chatino 1 for 2 from the free throw line so far this evening. He's got 5 points, 6 assists, 2 away from the record.
As his free throw goes around the rim and no good. The Dolphins leaving a few points on the board, but still in control here in the first half.
Yeah, they're 2 for 7 from the stripe now, Mike.
Sokol with the basketball. Sokol working it to Mammon in the corner. Mammon now feeds the ball out over to Aloof with 13 on the shot clock. Now it's Sokol. Sokol getting the ball to Cone. Cone has kept YU in the game here in the first half as he drives down. His layup is up no good. And we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the play. It was very close to a travel, but the foul called on the Dolphins, and that's going to be on Chatino. That'll be his first, and it will be a foul in the act of shooting, so that will send Judah Cone to the free throw line to shoot 2.
He's 4 for 4 for the season from the free throw line. Made a really nice move against Chatino. Had Chatino breaking right, and he went left.
So a couple more substitutions here for the Maccabees as Guetta and Hod are both going to check in. Both coaches using their benches here in the first half. YU trailing by 15. They have one more free throw upcoming. Cone's second free throw is up and in, so he hits them both. And YU cuts the Dolphin lead down to 14. Chatino now will bring the ball slowly up the floor as he looks over to the head coach for the play. And the Dolphins look to set up offensively. Chatino. Now it's Rossiter. Rossiter working the ball in the corner to Flagg. A beautiful move by Flagg, who lays it up and in. And, you know, Dave, I'm not sure we saw that kind of move out of Stephen all last year.
Yeah, nice explosive first step from the 3-point line, getting it on the interior. Nice finish, too, for Stephen Flagg.
Cone getting the ball up over to Aloof, and now Aloof's going to throw it away. Another turnover for YU. That's going to be their 10th of the half, and that will give the Dolphins the basketball with 2:47 remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, you know, this is a really important final 3 minutes for both teams. If you're the Dolphins here and can finish strong and, you know, potentially maybe take a 20-point lead into the locker room, you're talking about a huge advantage going into the second half.
Chatino with the basketball as he brings the ball across the midcourt line as Rossiter kind of pushed down from behind, nothing called, and it'll be a turnover, and it'll be Maccabee basketball.
Yeah, it looks like they might have just gotten their feet tangled. You know, Judah and Rossiter were kind of battling for a position. It looked like an inadvertent type of tangle.
So it'll be YU basketball as they look to close out the first half strong and get themselves back in contention for the second half. Aloof getting the ball up over to Berger. Short jumper is up, no good. Rossiter there to control the rebound for the Dolphins. Rossiter now gets the ball out over to Chatino. Chatino guarded there by Leibovich. Now Chatino with 15 on the shot clock. Nice crossover dribble. He drives down the lane and draws the foul. And, you know, Dave, you mentioned it early, and he's done it all game long. Chatino really piling up the fouls against YU.
Yeah, and that time Nicholas Leibovich had no choice but to hold Chatino because he had gotten beaten to the interior. And, you know, the only thing about Chatino's game that's lacking here in the early stages is that he's 1 for 3 from the line. So he'd like to get back to 500, and that's what he does. He's 2 for 4. The Dolphins just 3 of 8 from the line. There hasn't been many deficiencies that this team has shown here in the first half, Mike. This is the only one.
As Stephen Flagg will check out of the game for the Dolphins.
Christian Taylor's back in. Lennon is back in as well.
As Chatino's second free throw is up, no good, and the ball is tipped, and that's going to be no good, and YU controls the rebound. So they have the basketball inside of 2 minutes remaining. Polyev with the basketball. Now feeding it up over to Hod, and we're going to have a whistle, and it looks like an offensive foul on YU.
Yeah, and offensive fouls also count as turnovers, Mike, and that's number 11 for Yeshiva in this first half.
And that's going to be a foul on Berg, and that's going to be his second. So the Dolphins will get the ball off the turnover. They have their biggest lead of the game, 17, with 1:48 remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, now again, we'll see the half-court offense for the Dolphins. They've scored a lot in transition tonight.
So Rossiter now gets the ball out over to Schettino. Schettino stops, puts up the long three-pointer. It's up, no good. Fight for the rebound, and YU comes away with the ball as it'll be Cone bringing it across the midcourt line. Cone picks up his dribble, now gets the ball up over to Polyev. Polyev over to Guetta. Guetta now working the ball in the corner too hard. His long three-pointer is up, no good. Fight for the rebound, and it's able to be come away with by Taylor. Taylor working the ball inside to Baum. His short shot is up, no good. A fight for the rebound, and I believe we're going to have a loose ball foul on the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's going to be on Lennon. I think that's a good call, as he was a little bit out of control going up for that one. 6'6" freshman from Saunders Trades Technical School.
So it will be YU to inbound the basketball. Just over a minute remaining here in the first half, as YU looking to close out the first half strong and cut into this Dolphins 17-point lead.
Yeah, but they've been stuck on 21 for a while now, Mike.
Hayen with the basketball. Now it's Cone. Cone getting it to Guetta. Guetta driving down the lane and lays it up and in. So Tal Guetta gets the basket. He has 4, and YU cuts it to 38-23. Dolphins with the basketball, 20 to shoot on the shot clock. Now it's Taylor, and we're going to have a whistle and an offensive foul called on the Dolphins. I believe that's going to be on Rossiter.
And it will be on Rossiter, his first.
So the Dolphins turn the ball over, and you know, Dave, Dolphins have played very strong here in the first half, but they have turned the ball over 9 times so far.
Yeah, the key is that they've held Yeshiva to just 35% from the floor, 9 of 26 shooting, only 3 of 10 from downtown. But they've been contesting shots. They haven't allowed Yeshiva really anything easy on the interior.
So Hod tried to get the ball inside. The ball stolen away, and Taylor has the basketball. He feeds it ahead to Baum, and, you know, that time, Dave, maybe a little bit of a rookie mistake. You might have wanted to hold that one for the last shot.
Yep.
Ball gets worked in the corner. The open three-pointer is up, no good, but the Dolphins have it again with 10 seconds remaining as Baum drives down the lane, misses the shot, and gives YU yet another opportunity with the basketball. Cone stops. His baseline jumper is good.
A big shot, and that's the 4th shot with the shot clock off that we saw up and down the floor. But, Mike, it's how both teams want to play. You have to live and die that way. Dolphins, unfortunate. Khalid Baum wanted a call, wanted some contact down the other end. But Yeshiva is able to end the half on a modest 4-0 run, cut this lead down to 13. And some big points at that, Mike, makes for a very interesting second half upcoming.
Yeah, you know, Dave, and, you know, a couple of little bit of sloppy play by the Dolphins in that last minute, especially in the last possession. That was twice that they really should have held on to the ball for the last shot. Instead, they kind of rushed their opportunities both times and really allowed YU to go into the half feeling pretty good about themselves.
Yeah, you know what you need when you're down by, 17 points, you need something to build off of. That's why we said with about 2 minutes left in the half that the final 2 minutes were going to be very important for both teams. The Dolphins would have loved to have gone into the locker room with a 20-point lead or 19-point lead. Instead, they settled for 13. Still in very good shape. They've played tremendous defensive basketball in this first half, and Yeshiva finished with a couple of quick baskets. Puts them in a good place coming in.
So we're at halftime here at the Sports and Recreation Center. Why don't we step aside? We'll take a break for a few minutes, and then we'll get ready for the start of the second half as you're watching men's basketball coverage exclusively on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised.
Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably put the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Mom.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course.
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
We're leaving.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent. We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up. emergency plan today.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Na 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 na. I love you so. I love you. I love you. La 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 la. La 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 la.
We're here.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
A full life measured in seats starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
We're back here at halftime where the College of Staten Island leads Yeshiva University by a score of 38-25. A good first half for the Dolphins, but a nice job by YU, Dave, to score the last 4 points and put themselves down just 13 going into the half.
Yeah, overall a good, solid first half for the Dolphins. Yeshiva could feel comfortable knowing that they cut into the lead a little bit and put themselves within striking distance. And Mike, if this Dolphins team has had an Achilles heel so far through the early part of the season, it's been the fact that they've dropped halftime leads in both of their first couple of games. So they're trying to avoid that here for a third straight time on their home floor. But the Dolphins should feel comfortable, even though they gave up the final 4 points of the half. They played really well. They shot the ball 52%. A lot of high percentage stuff underneath. They only took 5 3-point shots, and even then they made 3 out of those. And they really played well. Their only deficiency came at the free throw line, where they only shot 33%, 3 of 9. But the bottom line is they played well. They forced 12 turnovers. They had 10 of their own, but they were a +2 in that category. They earned some second chance points as well. So doing a nice job so far through the first 20. Now the question is to complete it and play a good back 20 and get out of here with a win.
And the Dolphins out-rebounding YU in the first half, 25-15, including 7-1 on the offensive end. Dolphins also going 3 of 5, Dave, from the three-point line compared to just 3 of 11 for the Maccabees. YU turning the ball over 12 times in that first half. The Dolphins turning the ball over 10 times. And, you know, Dave, you mentioned the Dolphins just 3 of 9 from the free throw line, including missing the front end of both 1-and-1 opportunities. So the Dolphins have left some points on the board in that first half.
Yeah, and again, when Tony Petoza has a chance to break this one down, he's going to recognize and he's going to be able to tell his team, look, we were up by 13 at the break. We should have been up by 15, 17, 20. But on the backside of that, they have played well defensively. Yeshiva just has not been able to get the passes on the interior like they would like to. The Dolphins are getting arms in the way. They're disrupting passes. They're blocking shots. They're doing some really good things down low. The Dolphins with 6 blocked shots in the first half alone. That's a big number for a team like the Dolphins. And so they've been doing very, very well defensively. Their shortcomings on the offensive side, there haven't been many, but the ones that they have had counterbalanced by good, strong defense. And that's why the Dolphins are up by 13.
And, you know, Dave, we got to see some new freshman players. Christian Taylor playing for the Dolphins for the first time. Our first opportunity to see Robert Rossiter in person and Valdegras Lennon in person, Jade Spencer as well. A very different CSI Dolphin team, Dave. We mentioned it a couple of times. What did you think of those freshman plays, your first time seeing them live?
Oh, you know what? I think that they play with a lot of poise. I think that, they could use, some softer hands on the interior, especially when they're getting those passes from Shatino and Christian Taylor down low. But that comes with time. That comes with experience. In practice, and Tony Petoza has made it a point to say how well this team has been practicing. But practice only gets you so far. Until you get into full game speed against live competition, against different bodies than what you're seeing in practice, that's the true test. And that only comes from experience and being able to be on the floor. But I'll tell you what, for the few minutes that they've been inserted in, I've seen a lot of poise. I've seen a lot of players that seem to know where they need to be on the floor and what the plays are. Nobody's really out of position defensively. These are all very good signs for this young team. And again, on the whole, tremendous upside, and this is only the first beginning stages, the first few baby steps before we really see this team start to take off.
And Kevon Murphy, who I believe did have a couple of starts last year, but for the most part came off the bench, looked very well for the Dolphins. 4 of 8 shooting, 3 rebounds, and a couple assists for, and a steal for Kevon. So a nice start for Kevon Murphy in the starting lineup here tonight.
Yeah, you know what? And he actually misfired on a couple of, makeable layups too. So he actually left a couple of points on the floor as well. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Very solid. He led the team in scoring with 8 points, 4 of 8 from the field. And again, very poised too, especially defensively. We've seen Kevon at times get into foul trouble because he's out of position. He's backpedaling when he shouldn't be. And he's been very in control of himself tonight. And that leads to good things. The Dolphins as a team, only 6 fouls in the first half, Mike. And we mentioned right at the start, they need to stay out of foul trouble. They did that in the first half.
Yeah, just a couple of quick notes. Dolphins outscoring YU in the paint 18-12. YU outscoring the Dolphins 4-0 in fast break points in that first half. So underway here in the second half as the Dolphins hold a 13-point lead. They've led it both games at halftime, as Dave mentioned. Let's see how they do here in the second half this afternoon. Is driving to the basket is Guetta, and he draws the foul. So right here in the first few seconds, YU will go to the free throw line to start the second half.
And, Mike, just to put it in perspective, this season, it's only been 2 games, but the Dolphins have outscored their opponents 77-74 in the first half. Modest, only 3 points, but they've been outscored 94-68 in the second half. You're talking 26-point difference in the second half. So second half play is something that everybody's paying attention to in this building, and we certainly are as well.
So Greta hits that first free throw, making the YU run 5-0 as he hits both, and now YU all of a sudden, Dave, down just 11.
Yeah, now they're 3 for 5 from the line here.
So YU with the first points of the second half, is now it's Rossiter with the basketball. Rossiter over to Brocic. Brocic feeding it inside to Murphy. Murphy, short floater in the lane is good. That's a good high percentage shot there.
Yeah, and that's another example of those post moves that Kevon Murphy can give you. Nice bounce pass from Brocic to get it to him, and then a poised Murphy finishes the play.
Cone getting the ball out over to Berg. Berg now working it over to Pacina. Pacina drives down the lane. His shot's going to be off the backboard and out of bounds. Last touch by the Dolphins, so remain YU basketball with 12 to shoot.
First block shot for Murphy on the evening, and the 7th overall for the Dolphins.
So YU to inbound the basketball as Dolphins playing good pressure defense, inbounding the basketball as the ball comes up over to Greta. Greta now feeding it out over to Cone. He backs out now with 3 seconds left to shoot. Cone drives down the lane. His floater is up, no good. And the rebound controlled by Baum, but bounce pass to Tashino is stolen away, and Cone is there to lay it up and in. So the YU lead, YU now trails by 11 once again.
Yeah, that initial pass by Baum a little bit too strong and out in front of Chatino. That caused the turnover.
So now it's going to be Brocic with the basketball for the Dolphins. Brocic now feeds it out over to Chatino. Chatino lobs it inside to Murphy, who lays it up and in. Nice feel that time by Chatino as he picks up another assist.
And he just teardropped that right into Kevon Murphy. What a beautiful pass.
42-29 the score, as it's going to be Berg with the basketball. Berg now getting the ball off to Pacina. Pacina now feeding it back to Berg. 13 on the shot clock. He tries to drive in against Baum, and his floater is up, no good. And the rebound controlled by Brocic.
Yeah, made a nice move to get inside. Just couldn't finish the play. Was Michael Berg.
Chatino now, crossover dribble, drives down the lane. His layup is up, no good, but he draws the foul. That was a nice play that time by Chatino, Dave, and he looked like he was pretty well balanced, but just couldn't get the layup to fall.
Yeah, exactly, and we've seen Frank do that so many times over the course of his career. Chatino just 2 of 5 from the free throw line tonight, though. Looking to get even here.
And his first free throw is up, no good, Dave. And and we talk about it all the time. These free throws in close games always seem to come back to haunt you. The Dolphins really struggling from the line here tonight.
Dolphins just 4 of 11 from the free throw line here this evening. 3 for 10 before that make.
So 43-29 as YU brings the ball up across the midcourt line, as that's Cone with the basketball. Cone feeding it over to Pacina. Pacina now back to Cone. Cone takes the quick three-pointer. It's up, no good. Nice job by Rossiter to come back and grab the rebound.
Yeah, following the play, always following the ball. Nice job.
As Chatino drives down the lane and lays it up and in, and that time YU didn't press Chatino. He just took it all the way.
Yeah, 9 points now for the senior.
45-29 to score. Cone with the basketball. Cone now getting it over to Berg. Berg working the ball out over to Greta. Greta picks up his dribble, now hands the ball off over to Pacina, who works the ball inside. His layup is up and in, and he draws the foul.
Yeah, that's a big play right there for Pacina, taking matters into his own hands, driving into the paint, drawing contact, putting in the layup. A lot of nice moves there for Pacina, and has a chance now to complete a big three-point play for Yeshiva.
Yeah, and that foul is going to be on Murphy. Murphy will pick up his second as the free throw is up and in. And the Dolphin lead is down to 13 as Chatino brings the ball up across the midcourt line. Chatino Crossover dribble, works his way inside. His shot is up, no good. That time he forced it a little bit. And here comes YU as Cone gets ahead of the field and lays it up and in.
Yeah, Yeshiva's starting to gain some confidence now. A lot of high fives going on the court. Feeling better about themselves. Got this 17-point CSI lead down to 11.
So Schettino with the ball. Gets it over to Bracic. Bracic inside to Murphy. Murphy drives his way inside. That shot is up, no good. Pound grabs the rebound. His putback is no good, but he draws the foul.
Bound was a pretty good free throw shooter, Mike. One of the Dolphins' best over the last couple of years. Well, obviously over last year and into this season as well. The two big ones here for the Dolphins, who are 4 of 11 from the line tonight.
So Bound bends at the knees. His first free throw is up and in. He's got 7, and the Dolphin lead goes back up to 12.
Big crowd here tonight at CSI. It gets eerily quiet when Dolphins step to the line. It almost makes it tougher to shoot free throws.
One more upcoming here for Khalid, and Dolphins looking to hit a pair for the first time tonight, and they do. 47-34, the Dolphin lead is back up to 13 as YU brings the ball across the midcourt line. Greta gets the ball back up over to Cone. Cone looking to work against Rossiter. Now back up over to Greta. His floater in the lane is up, no good. Fight for the rebound, and Rossiter goes up big once again to grab the basketball.
Yeah, nice job by Rossiter once again. Big on the inside.
Schettino at the three-point line. Looking to lob it inside beautifully to Murphy, who lays it up and in. Another nice pass from Schettino to Murphy. They've hooked up a couple of times here, Dave, in the second half.
And Frank Schettino has now tied the CSI School's all-time record for assists, 586. The next one puts him over the top, Mike.
So Schettino, great career continues as Cone's three-pointer is up, no good, and we're going to have a whistle and a loose ball foul on Tal Greta. So Greta will pick up his third, the team's third. The Dolphins will inbound the basketball with their lead back up to 15.
Back in 1991, Mike, Fred Marinaccio set the school record for assists with 586. It's taken 25 years.
You think of all the great players the Dolphins have had, Dave, and you know, it takes a lot of skill to come out and play for 4 years, and Frankie Schettino has done just that.
Yep.
Bracic with the basketball out by the three-point line. Now it's Murphy. A beautiful spin move by Murphy. His shot is up, no good, and the rebound controlled by the Maccabees. Hod with the basketball. Now it's Cone. Cone looking to get the ball inside. He's able to get it up over to Mammon. I'm sorry, that was Halen with the basketball. Now Cone. Cone, long cross-court pass. Now it's Berg inside. Back in the corner. The open three-pointer is up. No good. Fight for the rebound, and Murphy comes away with the basketball. Now it's Schettino. 2-on-2. Beautiful move by Schettino, who lays it up and in.
Yeah, nice poised play by Schettino, skating down the right sideline. Thought about dishing it, but took it himself. Nice job to finish the play.
Dolphins open the lead back up to 17 as we're going to have a whistle and a kick ball. So it will remain in possession of the Maccabees as the Dolphins will substitute for the first time here in the second half.
Murphy off, Rossiter off. Jade Spencer comes in for the Dolphins and Stephen Flagg as well. 19 on the shot clock here for Yeshiva.
So YU to inbound the basketball, looking to get their way back in the game. They've cut it down to 11 on a couple of occasions. The long three-pointer is good. Big basket that time by Jordan Hod to keep YU in the game.
Yeah, nice job by Hod. That's a pressure three, and here's another one down the other end.
As Bracic comes right back and hits a three-pointer of their own, David. You know, we talked about it the last couple of years. What a different team this is when Bracic is hitting his three-pointers.
Yeah, you know, sometimes the Dolphins can grow cold out there, but Bracic, one of those steady three-point shooters for the Dolphins over the course of his career. An important one there.
YU trying to work the ball inside with 12 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Cone feeding the ball inside. He tries to get it back on the give and go, but they're going to lose it out of bounds, and it will be Dolphin basketball. And, you know, one of the things that you notice here, Dave, in this second half, Dolphins forcing YU to work a lot of shot clock. They've been taking shots way down in the shot clock.
Clock.
As we're going to have a whistle, and the Dolphins will have to inbound the basketball as the clock was off once again. 13 minutes, 54 seconds remaining in this second half. 26 seconds remaining on the shot clock. YU has cut it down to 11, Dave, on a couple of occasions. Each time the Dolphins have been able to open the lead back to 17.
Yeah, and that's been the thing. You know, the Maccabis have they've just made the announcement that Frank Schettino has set the record. I still have him one short of the actual record. He's actually tied with it. But a nice job by Frank Schettino. Gets a nice ovation from the crowd. But yeah, Mike, you know, the problem with Yeshiva is that they just haven't been able to get over that hump. You know, but they've cut it down a few times, and now the Dolphins have a chance now to go over the top.
Baum, baseline jumper is up, no good. A beautiful tip by Murphy. That's no good. He sticks with it, lays it up and in, and draws the foul up. Sorry, Dave, that was Jade Spencer. And Spencer, a very nice play there. Stuck with it, missed the first putback, got it again, laid it up and in, and drew the foul.
That's one of the things that the Dolphins have been doing well, is that they've been staying with it on the inside. They haven't been giving up on the play. They had a chance, and they ended up finishing the play. Nice job by Spencer.
So the Dolphins now with their biggest lead of the afternoon as Spencer's free throw is up. No good, but a nice job by Bracic to grab the offensive rebound. 56-37, the Dolphins lead by 19. As it's now going to drive down the basket. A lot of contact that time. Nothing called as Flag took it to the basket, and now it's YU with the basketball. Hod with the basketball. Now we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the other end.
And Stephen Flagg looks like he'll pick up, I believe, what will be his second. It's his first.
So Flagg will pick out the foul. YU will inbound the ball with a fresh 30-second shot clock as Daniel Polyev will inbound. Polyev now getting the ball back behind the three-point line, guarded by Schettino. He feeds it inside to Mammon. Mammon's floater in the lane is good. Sorry, that was Daniel Katz, whose layup was good.
And Yeshiva just refusing to go away, refusing to die out quietly. Dolphins have to continue to keep their foot on the gas.
As the long three-pointer is up, no good, but this time Flagg is there to grab the offensive rebound, and his putback is up and in. Flagg now with 6 points on the game. I believe that's on 3 of 3 shooting, Dave, but 3 of 4 shooting, and the Dolphins open up the lead to 58-39.
Yeah, after Flagg got the offensive rebound, Yeshiva defenders kind of, you know, shed off of him and let him kind of come open and shoot. So
nice play that time as the Dolphins defended Pacina. He dribbled the ball out of bounds, and the Dolphins get the ball back off the turnover. The short jumper at the free throw line by Schettino is good, and the Dolphins have broken this one open, Dave, breaking the 20-point mark for the first time tonight.
Yeah, it's got to be maybe some fatigue now on Yeshiva because they're just stopped defending a little bit here.
Yeah, the Dolphins in the middle of a 22-12 run.
You know, and even on that last exchange, you know, and yeah, now they'll get the timeout that they want, Mike, but, you know, CSI came running down the court, and Yeshiva just kind of backpedaled the entire way.
So it's going to be a full timeout here for YU. So why don't we step aside and take a break? 12 minutes, 11 seconds remaining here in the second half with the score. Dolphins 60, Maccabees 39. You're watching CSI basketball coverage on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-One physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
And we're back on the air. And, Dave, we should say we just had a sponsored by One-on-One, one of our sponsors here in 2016, 2017, something we're really excited about.
Yeah, they've always been so great there at One-on-One. Our very own Michael Morrow, head baseball coach, is their marketing director there. Joe Saraceno is going to join us on one of these broadcasts coming soon during basketball season, and we'll have him on the air. But always such great, gracious sponsors for all of our teams.
So the Dolphins with the basketball in a 21-point lead as we're inside of 12 minutes remaining here in the second half, and the Dolphins get the ball back out to Chatino now with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Chatino, short jumper in the lane is up and good, so Chatino getting the assist, now in double digits with 15, Dave.
Yeah, starting to take over as the Dolphins are starting to pull away now, 23 points on top of Yeshiva.
62-39 is we're going to have a whistle and a foul away from the ball. And the foul will be on the Dolphins.
I'll tell you what, Mike, Yeshiva does such a good job of staying focused and not, the teammates come over, make sure that the players step away from one another. They're always very gracious when they foul. It's really good to see this level of sportsmanship with these players as well.
So YU getting to inbound the basketball as they won't look to lay it up and in. As that time it's Katz, whose first shot was blocked, but he stayed with it, laid it up and in, and drew the foul.
Yeah, the Yeshiva University looking for a spark, and they get it that time from Daniel Katz. Very emphatic after the layup, trying to get his team motivated. There's 11 and a half minutes left, Mike, so there is time. We've seen these type of runs teams make.
Yeah, plenty of time remaining as Katz has 4 all in the second half, but misses the free throw. Now it's Chatino, handing it off to Rossiter. Rossiter's jumper is up and good. So I'm not sure if they're going to give Chatino an assist on that one or not, Dave.
I would assume so. I mean, that looked like a perfect assist to me, and if that's the case, it's 5:87, so congratulations to Frank. We'll get the official scoring in just a moment.
Yeah, and Dave, you think about all the great point guards that have worked their way through the college, and, some of the great ones, of course, not playing 4 complete years, but, Frankie Chatino, who came on and really from his first game as a Dolphin has been such an effective player for the CSI Dolphins. Early in his senior year, already breaking the assist record.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how many points he came into, but he also had over 1,100 points coming into the season. So when you think about it, he's been a part of so many points, not only by his own hand, but of course assisting on as well. I mean, 587 assists, Mike. That's easily over 1,000 points. Some of those being 3-pointers. So, when you think about the 1,000 and change that he scored, the 1,000 and change that he's been a part of. Through assists, that's just so much scoring.
Yeah, and now it's Chatino bringing the ball up across the midcourt line. And, Dave, you go back to when he was a freshman and all the star players that were on this team, and now, everybody's looking to Frankie to run the offense.
Yep, and that's how it works around here.
As Chatino puts up the long 3-pointer, that's no good, but we're going to have a whistle and a loose ball foul called on Yeshiva University.
Tony Petoza, as far as his calling card as a coach, I mean, he recruits all types of different players, all, abilities when they come in, but he loves his guards, Mike. I mean, he loves recruiting them. He's put out so many. John Cali, the first Hall of Famer in men's basketball history, recruited by Tony as a guard as well.
Nice turnover that time as Chatino coming away with the basketball. He's flying down the lane. He looked to get the ball inside, but we're going to have a whistle and a foul out on the floor. So that will be the 6th foul against YU. So the Dolphins will get to inbound the basketball. 10 minutes, 10 seconds remaining. And, Dave, we were really excited coming into the game today. Not really sure what to expect. We knew the Dolphins played a couple of tough road games. What are your impressions here through the first 30 minutes?
I'm very impressed. The Dolphins are flying, more than I thought they'd be flying up and down the court. I think defensively is where I've really been impressed.
As Rossiter's baseline one-hander is no good.
And I really felt this game was going to be very, very close. A one-possession game for a majority of the game, and Dolphins really have pulled away.
Yeah, so now Combe puts up the 3-pointer, and it was really his 3-point shooting that kept YU in the game. He leads them with 16, but he misses that shot. As Chatino's long pass, he was looking for Murphy to go to the basket a little too high, so the Dolphins turned the ball over, and Dolphins done a much better job not turning the ball over here, Dave, in the second half.
Yeah, by all means, this game isn't over, but the Dolphins certainly are in control, and if they can play just steady, consistent basketball, they should be in good shape and pick up their first win.
As YU gets to inbound the basketball, and it'll be Cone looking to work against Taylor, who backs up defensively for the Dolphins. Now it's Aloof. Aloof working his way in the baseline. He feeds it to Berg, who's short, running one-hander in the lane is good. 66-45, 9:15 remaining here in the second half.
And down by 21, Yeshiva needs to start thinking about stops on just about every possession and points the other way.
So now Taylor and Chatino on the floor together is a beautiful spin move by Murphy. He's hammered to the floor, and he will draw the foul, but Kevon Murphy really showing a lot of improvement, a lot more steadier offensive play so far here tonight, Dave.
Yeah, and really a lot more court awareness too, Mike. The one knock I've always had on Kevon is that sometimes he seems like he's out of place, doesn't truly know where he is on the court, but really he's been so poised in this game, really has good presence underneath the hoop, good moves towards the basket. He's really shown a lot of development this offseason, and it's going to be one of those go-to guys for the Dolphins down the stretch.
Yeah, and looking ahead for the Dolphins, Dave, they'll be back in action this Saturday afternoon against New Jersey City University. That game will be on the road in Jersey City. And then we get underway with the conference schedule against John Jay, and we've heard a lot of good things about that John Jay men's basketball team here this year.
Yeah, Tony Petoza told us that he feels a lot of the other CUNY schools are much improved, and one of them is John Jay. But, of course, we never know until we really see them in person, Mike, and looking forward to all of these games. A week after that, CCNY comes in here, and year to year they've shown some development. They beat the Dolphins here on this court. I believe it was last year they did. So, every game is going to be interesting as now players are coming off the court. I don't know what's going on here, these holdups.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Dave, what happened here, but whatever it is, we're ready to get underway. We have 9 minutes, 1 second remaining here in the second half. The Dolphins leading by 22, 67-45. And a nice feed inside, and the layup is up and in, and that's going to be a nice play by the Dolphins, Dave, right off the inbounds to lay the ball right in.
Yeah, nice job there. The Dolphins back up by 23. They've matched their biggest lead.
Murphy with 16 for the Dolphins as that long three-pointer is up and in, and that cuts the Dolphin lead down to 20. Chatino with the basketball now, bringing the ball across the midcourt line, feeding it out over to Taylor, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul away from the ball, and I believe that's going to be called on Katz. It will be. So the freshman will pick up the personal foul. That will be the 7th foul. Both teams now with 7, Dave. So we're looking at free throws the rest of the way.
Yep, and with 8.5 minutes to go, I mean, if you're Yeshiva, you'd like to see the Dolphins miss some here and get some easy points down the other way. It's not going to be that easy, though, here. When you've only scored 48 to this point to try and make up a 20-point difference, they're going to have to find some offense quickly.
Yeah, and, the thing that you mentioned, Dave, a couple of times already, the way that the Dolphins have played defense here tonight has been very impressive.
Without a question, as the second free throw no good, and Baum's going to be called for a loose ball foul. He was shielding with that right arm.
Yeah, so Baum kind of gets caught a little bit on the offensive foul. And with the Dolphins over the limit, that will get YU to the free throw line to shoot free throws. And that's the one thing you don't want if you're the CSI Dolphins.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's going to make Tony Petoza, angry on his bench, is you don't just want to give away free points. The Macs are very good from the free throw line. They've been good tonight. And now a chance for Berg to cut into this lead.
So Berg will go to the free throw line, a big front end of a 1-and-1. He can't hit it. And those are points, Dave, that YU can just not afford to not get.
Yeah, absolutely. Those always come back to haunt you. Dolphins gave a few of those up in the first half, and now it's Yeshiva's turn.
Chatino handing the ball off over to Taylor. Taylor with 15 on the shot clock, now with Chatino. Chatino directing traffic, now cross-court pass over to Rossiter. Rossiter's three-pointer is good.
That's Chatino's 10th assist of the game, Mike.
So another double-double here for Schettino. I don't know how many he's had in his career, Dave, but it's been a lot.
Oh, without question.
Why are you now working the ball around the corner? It's Boca. Boca now handing the ball off over to Katz. Now the ball gets fed inside, and there to lay it up and in will be Aloof. 72-50, 7:40 remaining here in the second half. Schettino with the basketball. Schettino now gets the ball out over to Taylor. Taylor over to Rossiter, back to Schettino now. Dolphins looking to work the shot clock a little bit now, inside of 10 seconds remaining. Schettino dribbling through a couple of players, now kicking the ball in the corner. Taylor, the open three-pointer, is up no good, and Berg is there to grab the rebound. Now handing the ball off over to Cone. Why are you looking to make a final run at the game? They need points. Cone stops, three-pointer is up no good, Baum there to grab the rebound. Now it's Schettino. Schettino with speed. Bounce pass looking for Taylor, but the ball goes under him and out of bounds, and the Dolphins turn the ball over.
Schettino's a little bothered by coming out of the game. He didn't want to come out. He's got 11 assists. His personal record's 13 in a single game. The school record's 14. He's coming close to that too, Mike. It's going to be a phenomenal day for Frank Schettino. 15 points, 11 rebounds. 11 assists.
So now why you looking to work the ball inside, it's going to be deflected out of bounds, but last touch by the Dolphins, so it'll remain Maccabee basketball. 18 to shoot. They work the ball in now to Aloof. Aloof driving to the basket. His layup is up no good, and Bracic goes up big to grab the rebound.
Yeah, he was expecting contact. He didn't get it. Rossiter didn't go all the way with it.
Rossiter standing wide open at the three-point line. Now smartly puts it on the floor as the Dolphins now, Dave, looking to run clock on each possession.
Yeah, it's a good bet here with 6.5 to go. You're up by 22. Safety first. Get a good clean shot off.
Rossiter's jumper with 6 seconds on the shot clock is no good, and the rebound is grabbed by Katz as Katz hands the ball off now to Aloof, and here comes YU with the basketball. Katz, Berg, inside to Aloof, who lays it up and in and draws the foul.
Yeah, you notice this was something that Yeshiva failed to do in the first half, Mike, was pound the ball inside. Dolphins were not giving them those angles, not allowing them to really get passes down low. And now Yeshiva's starting to do that. It might be a little too late here with 6 minutes left, but as you can see, those type of plays pay off.
So the Dolphin lead now down to 20 as Aloof goes to the line looking to complete the three-point play, and he does. 72-53 the score as we're now inside the 6 minutes remaining here in the second half. Schettino with the basketball. Schettino working it up over to Bracic. Bracic jumper from the baseline is good. Bracic having a good game for the Dolphins. 4 of 6 shooting. He has 11.
I'm interested to see if they award Schettino the assist on that. If they do, it would be his 12th.
Now Schettino with the basketball. He's going to back the ball out as the Dolphins will run the clock down inside of 20 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Schettino out by the three-point line. Schettino looking for a play to break open. Schettino works his way inside. His shot is up and in, and he draws the foul. And what a great play that time by Schettino, Dave. Drawing the foul, keeping control of his body, getting the ball in the basket, and really just playing another very great game for the Dolphins here tonight.
Yeah, once again takes over the team lead with 17 points. They did not give him the assist on that Bracic jumper, so he's stuck on 11 assists there. 14 is the school's single-game record.
And Schettino's shot is up no good. And
it's 3 for 8 from the line, Mike. That's our knock on Frank Schettino. That's all we're going to give you.
Yeah, Schettino looking to get back defensively on Cone. Now Aloof puts up the three-pointer. That's no good. And coming back to grab the rebound nicely is Lennon for the Dolphins. And you know, Dave, we've seen several of these freshmen play today. I think each of them have been very impressive in their own way.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, they're not lighting the world on fire, but they're playing very poised, very in control. Their basketball IQ has been strong here.
As Schettino now gets the ball up over to Taylor. Taylor, nice spin move inside. His shot is up and in, and he draws the foul. And That was a great play, Dave. Dolphins ran 27 seconds off the shot clock, still got the layup and drew the foul, and best of all worlds for CSI on that possession.
Yeah, absolutely. And that time, Christian Taylor found himself in the paint, really looked right, looked left, looked for somebody to dish to, and then gave it a go and got the nice teardrop in and finishes the play with the free throw. Now has 6 points on the evening.
So the Dolphins open up their biggest lead of the game. It's 26 inside of 4.5 minutes remaining in the game.
And, Mike, they went into halftime with a 13-point lead and have matched it here in the second. So much for being outscored by 26 in the second half this season.
Yeah, Dolphins playing a strong game against a team that had come in playing, pretty good basketball. They suffered a loss to the Coast Guard, but this is a team that went into the Nat Holman Gymnasium, Dave, to open the season and absolutely blew CCNY off the floor.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit of, kind of a matchup scenario for a couple of weeks from now when CCNY comes into this gym to play CSI. But that's not how you can always measure teams. But bottom line is this, we thought, and I think the coaching staff agreed, that these were two teams that like to play the same way. And whenever you have those type of teams, those are the big litmus tests, is how good are you? And I think we're seeing some good signs for the Dolphins. It'll be their second straight game, too, where they've put up 80-plus points.
Schettino now getting the ball up over to Brocic. Now Baum, his jumper in the lane is up, no good, but we're going to have a whistle, and Khalid will draw the foul.
We've gone all evening without mentioning Khalid's hair, but it's green today. Tomorrow it could be something else. Khalid is such a good kid, Mike. He's a resident assistant in the residence halls here at the college. He's really immersed himself in this, athletic community. He came here as a transfer last year. Already a senior, he'll be gone at the end of this season, but he will be missed. And Mike, as soon as he's done with basketball season, he plays front and center for men's volleyball as well. So the season will continue for him even after this one's done.
Excellent. So Kaliga will have a little winter-spring sport and a little spring sport action this year.
Yeah, always good to see. Kalik joined the team late last year, the volleyball team, and it immediately injected not only talent but personality to the team as well, and that's what he brings you, and he's a terrific kid.
Yeah, and the men's volleyball program continues to develop here at CSI. It's only been a couple of years for that program.
Yeah, they're going to be entering their third year. They have a new coach, Jason Madsen. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of them come late February when they start their season.
Nice play by Baum to step in and steal the basketball as he stops, takes the jumper, and buries it. And that's the thing with Khalid, Dave. He does have the ability to hit the shot from the outside.
Yeah, very athletic, has those long legs, runs the floor very well, and that's what he can do, too. As a big man, he can get the ball from deep in his own hole and bring it up the floor and score.
As the Maccabees work the ball inside and laying the ball up in, it will be Pacina. But all that's left now to determine, Dave, is the final score.
Yeah, absolutely, and perhaps Schettino cutting into that record as we're going to see Jason Kobovic coming into the game for the Dolphins, yet another body.
Taylor with the basketball, working the ball in the corner, as now the ball will come out to Schettino as he'll back the ball up now with 8 seconds on the shot clock inside of 3 minutes remaining in the game. As Schettino puts up the three-pointer, it's no good. But there to grab the rebound is Taylor. His putback is up, no good, and YU controls the rebound.
Unlucky for Taylor there. Nice left-handed layup, and just a little kiss too strong off the glass.
As taking the long shot that time is Katz. That's going to be an air ball, and the Dolphins control the rebound as Schettino will slowly bring the ball up the floor. That's the Dolphins are going to pick up their first win here tonight, Dave.
Yeah, and it's a big relief for this team, for the seniors, for the freshmen, for the coaching staff. Get that first one out of the way. Dolphins will have a huge test on Saturday against New Jersey City University, a self-proclaimed stacked team. I don't want to say self-proclaimed, actually. Tom Krichkowski, our assistant SID, a former New Jersey City grad, has gotten the inside scoop on the Gothic Knights, has been told they're loaded and stacked and ready to wage war on the Dolphins. We'll see what they have on Saturday as we have Raymond Savage entering the game, Jason Kobovic, and with the shot clock winding down, that's the kind of night it's been for Frank Schettino.
Yeah, Schettino now with 20, Dave. He came into the game averaging 26.5 points a game and, just really a the kind of game that the Dolphins really were looking for here tonight. 2 tough losses on the road, 2 games that the Dolphins had leads in, and to come out here tonight and really play a strong game has to be something that's going to give the players a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it's a load off their back as well, and looks like Brian Hayes is going to get set to come in for the Dolphins. James Delahanty, who looks an awful lot like his brother. I'm going to be calling him Tom, I think, at least 2 or 3 times this season. But they will replace Frank Schettino, 20 points, 11 assists, the school's all-time assist leader, and Christian Taylor comes off as well. And with these substitutions, I'm sorry, Mike, to cut you off. With these substitutions, the Dolphins would have now gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 13 players into the rotation. When's the last time we saw that happen?
I don't know that we've ever seen it happen, Dave. And, just a real good game for the Dolphins here tonight. You love the fact that they were able to put up 85 points, but, it's really the defense and the rebounding, Dave, that that everything builds off of. And they look pretty good at both of those things here tonight. Yeah,
costly turnover on the other side, and Savage gets called for the foul. But you spoke of rebounds. The Dolphins out-rebounding Yeshiva 44-25 tonight, completely one-sided. Turnovers, the Dolphins had 10 in the first half, only 4 in the second half, and that's with a lot of reserves now funneling into the game. Lots of good things you can hang your hat on going into Saturday's game against Jersey City.
Yeah, Dave, 5 players in double figures for the Dolphins, and Khalid Baum picking up 9 rebounds and 11 assists, just 1 rebound short of a double-double. And, you got to like the way that Stephen Flagg came in off the bench, 3 or 4 shooting, 6 points. You got to see Christian Taylor for the first time. Just lots of things to be excited about as that time Savage lays it up and in, and what I believe will be his first point as a CSI Dolphin, at least here tonight.
Yeah, Raymond Savage getting on the ledger in this one. Oh, and what an emphatic block. We haven't seen a block like that. Zaquan Charles, another freshman for the Dolphins from Brooklyn, New York. He's got this crowd in hysterics.
Yeah, and that was Savage's first points, Dave. So we had 3 or 4 of the women pick up their first points as a Dolphin here tonight, and now Raymond Savage does so as well.
Yeah, freshman having a little bit of fun on the court. Dolphins get to enjoy this one.
As the crowd enjoying themselves a little bit, and the Dolphins will get themselves together, regroup for that tough non-conference game Saturday, Dave, and then looks like we're going to have a very tough conference game here next Tuesday night.
Yeah, absolutely. John Jay comes into the building. That'll be followed by a string of CUNY matches as well. York on the road, CCNY comes in here, and then Lehman on the road. Fun times ahead.
Dave, and we're going to look forward to another big year of bringing you exclusive basketball coverage on both the men's and the women's side. And if I'm not mistaken, Dave, this is the 10th year of CSI Sportsnet.
Yep, something like that.
It's a long time, Dave. So it'll be Cats to the free throw line here for YU with just over a minute remaining here in the second half.
Yeah, no, we've come a long way too. The Sportsnet, how our operation has grown, the amount of people we have working in this endeavor. It's been a lot of fun, this end of things as well.
So one more free throw upcoming here for Cats, and again, the men's basketball team looking to make their way back into the finals. The women's team, Dave, eliminated in the semifinals the last 4 years in a row. They're looking to get to the finals as well, and should be a big, exciting year with a bunch of really good players on both teams.
Yeah, Raymond Savage has to be careful there. He took a swipe at one of the Yeshiva players. I think that'll be it for Savage.
Yeah, and that was so unnecessary, David. It really hasn't been that kind of game in any way.
No, absolutely not.
So you want to certainly not lose your cool in the last 51 seconds of a game that you've totally controlled.
Yeah, and you can't hold it against Yeshiva for still playing strong and still playing hard. That's what you want teams to do when they're down by 20 in the final minutes.
Absolutely. As the jumper is up, no good. A fight. Ball bounces around, and the rebound comes down, and Savage controls the ball for the Dolphins. just about a 3-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
I think everyone has now played for the Dolphins. Leslie Owusu-Ansah has come in, number 32 for the Dolphins, another freshman from Bronx, New York, Broome Street Academy.
Dolphins working the ball in the corner as they bounce the ball inside and forcing the ball up, and it's going to be no good as now it's Kobovic that gets into a little bit of a pushing match. Again, not something Dolphins need here at the end of the game with just 7 seconds remaining.
Yep, and Savage comes off now in place of Delahanty. Dolphins have 4 seconds with which to get off a shot, 7 on the game clock.
So the Dolphins look to inbound the basketball. It's tipped away, and YU will come down with the basketball as they look to bring it in, and they lay it up and in. As laying it in will be Poliev, and that's going to do it, Dave. The Dolphins started out strong in this game, went into halftime with a 13-point lead. YU was able to cut it down to 11 a couple of times, but then the Dolphins pulled away on the night where Frankie Schettino becomes the all-time assist leader for the CSI Dolphins.
Dolphins outscored Yeshiva by 13 in the first half, by 13 in the second half. They win by 26. They made it look easy against a team that they were very evenly matched with, Mike, and that's, I think, the big story of this game. What a good first effort for the Dolphins on their home floor. They improved to 1-2, and they're ready for New Jersey City on Saturday. And again, of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't congratulate Frank Schettino, who's coming over to us now, Mike, the school's all-time new assist leader.
As we're pleased to be joined by the career assist leader of the College of Staten Island, Frankie Schettino. First of all, Frankie, congratulations on becoming the all-time assist leader at Staten Island.
Appreciate it.
You know, Frankie, it was a tough start for you guys. You guys went down to Maryland. You played 2 great games. Fell, unfortunately, a little bit short coming in to tonight's game, coming in 0-2. How'd you guys feel coming into tonight's game?
We knew the tournament that we were in was very, very competitive. Those 2 teams are, one of the top 25 teams in the division. So coming into this game, our first home opener, we wanted to come out and really play hard, and we know that Yeshiva is not no joke, so we needed to keep them out of the 3-point shots. So our team played really good tonight. Who cares about the record as long as we got our first win?
And Frankie, such a turnover from the time that you just started in this program. So many new players, but it looks like you got a lot of contributions from the freshmen here tonight.
The young guys are really stepping up because we don't have a deep team, so all these young guys are getting their minutes, and, they're really playing hard, playing good on defense. They know all their roles.
And, Frankie, for the Dolphins to be successful, they're going to need with improved play out of several of your returning players, and it looked like Javon Murphy had a great game for you guys here tonight.
If Kavon gets going, they have to double team him down low. He's a big man. He has to just learn how to make that one move and go right up because he could score with the best of them.
And, of course, this team seems to be different when you hit your three-pointers. Team going 50% from the three-point line here this afternoon.
Yeah, if we hit our threes, we're tough to stop because we got big men down low. I create, and they just compact on me. So all we got to do is Eden and Christian and all these other young guys just got to hit their threes.
Congratulations on your big win tonight, Frankie.
Thank you.
Good luck
Appreciate
against New Jersey City University on Saturday. That was Frankie Schettino taking a moment to join us here tonight, Dave, on what was just really a good night on both the men's and women's side for the CSI Dolphins.
Yeah, what else can you say? The Dolphins had business to take care of tonight. They were in front of their home floor. For the men, it was their first chance in front of their home fans to really show what they're about in 16-17. I thought we saw some really good flashes. There are things to clean up, Mike. There's free throw shooting that was an issue a little bit. Obviously the Dolphins, I think the one thing that we saw here tonight, Mike, is that the Dolphins can put a pretty good foot forward for this season, and yet I think we could still understand and appreciate the fact that their best basketball is still very much ahead of them.
So the Dolphins win tonight on both the men's and women's side. They beat Yeshiva University in the second game by a final score of 87-61. The men will be back in action Saturday against New Jersey City University on the road. The women will be in action against NYU here Saturday afternoon. Tip-off at 3. Pregame at 2:45, and then the men's coverage will pick up next Tuesday as the CUNYAC season will open as the men men and the women will take on John Jay University. So that's going to do it here from the CSI Sports and Recreation Center. For Meshach Alexander and my broadcast partner, Dave Pizzuto, this is Mike Babusky saying so long and thanks for watching. Don't forget to join us Saturday afternoon as the women will be back in action as they will take on NYU at 3 o'clock. Pregame at 2:45. Have a great night, everybody. See you Saturday.